Get ready for the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
It's still real to me, damn it.
Live from my parents' basement, it is the Still Real to Us show for July 12, 2012, episode number 126. Welcome, everybody. Take a seat, enjoy the next hour as myself, Jeff Peck, and joining me as always, Trey, Captain Obvious Dent. Sit here and we talk wrestling for the next hour as we get you all geared up and ready to go for Money in the Bank 2012 this Sunday and look back to TNA Destination X from this past Sunday as well. But welcome to the Still Real to Us show. Captain, another week. We actually had the week off last week for the 4th of July weekend. I hope everybody enjoyed the Raw 1000th episode, a special show that Captain and I did. But here we are again, man. Sitting here, doing another Still Real to Us show. Good times, right?
Oh, yeah. So I have a question for you. Since you're the volunteer firefighter of our tag team, you're the fireman right. Chip to my, I guess, like, I can't remember. Remember that tag team from WCW back in the days with, like, they had the firemen and the policemen?
Yes, I remember
like
Fireman
yeah.
Chip. Firecracker Chip, I thought it was called. So.
Or fire. Yeah, it's your firebreaker or firecracker, but since that's kind of your character, because that's your MO outside of our wrestling world here, how many calls did you get for 4th of July for some redneck in Connecticut that blew his hand up?
I tell you what, we didn't get that many, thankfully not. But listen, I'm going to totally pull back the curtain here for a second. Usually we don't do this on the show, and we don't usually tip our hats to when we, record or whatever. I mean, from time to time you hear us slip up and we'll mention it, like, oh, we're recording on Tuesday or Wednesday. No joke. It is 11:22 on Monday night. Reason being is because Captain Obvious is working a shitload of hours this week, and yours truly turns 26 this coming Wednesday. So our weeks are really jam-packed, so we snuck Still Real to Us show recording right after Monday Night Raw. And it's funny that you brought this up because I was doing radio today in Hartford, came home, stopped at my firehouse because that is typically the night that everybody trains, stayed for a little bit, bullshitted, came home. Around 10 o'clock, Captain, we get a call. So I go out, we handle it, come home, it's like 10:30. We get a call again, and it was like literally, by the saving graces of God, I guess you would call it, the wrestling gods, I got back in time here to record the show with minutes left to spare, which brings us to right now recording this week's edition of the show.
That's impressive. And people, the funny thing is, we all know I've traveled all over the country, and people tend to think that the redneck revolution is pretty much just the South. But no matter what state you go to in this great nation of ours, you will find somebody that wants to blow something up and will do it by any means necessary. I've seen it in Connecticut, New Hampshire, Hawaii, Washington State. There's always somebody that goes, hey, let me dump this gallon of gasoline in this bucket, throw some fireworks in here, and throw a match in and see what happens.
Yeah, I know, typically wrestling podcast here, but, this is all about our, what we call in the biz, character building. The other day, I was getting lunch, and it's funny you bring this up, and I don't know what it was, like a Subway or a deli, and I hear this, two guys, business suits, they're talking, and finally I hear the guy go, well, how'd you lose your finger? I look, left hand, pinky's gone. There's a little bit of a stub. Maybe you're looking at your pinky, figure a quarter of his pinky is still on his hand. And he said, I had a bonfire, and I poured a whole bunch of gasoline on the fire to get it going, threw a match, whoosh, took off my finger. Exactly what Captain Obvious just said. Don't play with fire. This is volunteer fireman Jeff Peck coming out here. Don't play with fire, okay? Don't play with fire. It's not cool, believe me. Just ask Kane. See, I brought it back to wrestling. So, look at this. PSAs on this week's edition of the Still Real Tough Show, Captain, huh?
It's all full circle. It is
full circle. How was your 4th of July, man?
Pretty good. I spent it at work and got off work in time to walk outside and watch people just shooting off fireworks like all over town. Because in the South, we don't have the regulations. They say don't shoot off fireworks in town. We don't have the regulations that you guys have up north. Like, you can drive down South Carolina, like right across the border, and basically buy professional grade fireworks for like $10, like for 150 shots. And people will go out in their backyard and launch them off. And I was telling the girl I was working with, I'm like, it reminded me of a couple of years ago, me and Jeff remembers the guy Darth Twizzle.
Yes.
We were driving through Indianapolis on the 4th of July, and we had just gotten past Lucas Oil Field, and fireworks started going off. So I'm like, oh, all right, cool. They're doing something at the stadium or down where the Indianapolis Indians play, their AAA team. No. People were on overpasses shooting off fireworks, and I felt like I was driving through Darfur. It was just insane because there's just explosions going off everywhere, all across the interstate, and I'm like, yeah, this really can't be safe. But can't be any worse than being a professional wrestler and taking a styles clash off the ramp through a table and trying to walk away from it.
What I love about this entire first opening discussion of this week's show is that everybody that is listening to this podcast that's from the United States is like nodding their head. They all have a story that we have seen before where people shooting off fireworks. Everybody that's a fan of the show who lives in Europe or the UK, like UK Stu, they're all laughing at us right now like, what is with these Americans? Like, just firing off fireworks like retards. That's what we do here in America. We celebrate the 4th of July, we celebrate our country's birthday, and we get stupid, basically. So,
there's a reason why we're really good at wars. We like to blow stuff up. That's just our MO. Going back to the Revolutionary War all the way to now, we like to see stuff blow up. That's
right. That is the American way, and part of the American way is always professional wrestling. Finally, Captain, and this is going to show my Northeast lack of brain knowledge, if that's even a good combobulated word to put together. It is pretty late at night when we record this show, but nonetheless, you are a guy who lives in North Carolina. How close are you to, say, 95, where I know, because I've driven the 95 straight down to Florida, how close are you to a south of the border sign?
From my house, it takes me 20 minutes to get to I-95, and then from the border, I'm 30 minutes. And that's where the place I was talking about where you go buy professional-grade fireworks, because I did that a couple of years ago. But, yeah, from all the up and down I-95, you see the signs for south of the border, Pedro, the fireworks stands. Yeah, I'm literally maybe 40 minutes total from there.
Oh, you're 30 minutes from south of the border. That's badass.
Yeah.
and anybody who has driven down 95 here on the East Coast knows that, like, literally 250 miles away from south of the borders when you start seeing those signs.
Yeah, as soon as you cross into North Carolina, I think once you get to about the town of Wilson or Rocky Mount, which is about 200 miles away, you'll start seeing like every 5 miles up and down I-95 the entire way there.
Wow. Nonetheless, fireworks talks aside, I hope everybody had a good 4th of July weekend. More importantly, I hope you guys enjoyed our special show, looking back at our top 5 Raw moments and matches of all time. I know Captain and I had a lot of fun doing it, and we're back here this week to talk about the world of wrestling, wrap things up from what happened at Destination X, what just happened recently on Monday Night Raw, and get you guys ready to go for Money in the Bank 2012, which is this Sunday in pay-per-view. Captain, I'll be honest, I did not see TNA Destination X, as Captain knows, and him and I were exchanging Facebook messages, or as I like to call it, AIM 2012. AOL is a messenger to 2012 for you people who aren't familiar with AIM, the lingo here on the streets. I did not watch Destination X. I instead watched the Yankees-Red Sox game, being a big Yankee fan here in the Northeast. And it looks like that I made a mistake because some people are calling Destination X one of the best pay-per-views of 2012. You watch the show. Tell me your thoughts from top to bottom. And at the end of it, give me a ranking, 1 to 5 stars, 5 being the highest, 1 being the lowest, of course, of what you thought TNA Destination X did this past Sunday night.